Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Falconstein Build episode. Now, it's episode 2, part 2, whatever you want to call it. We're going to smash out the exhaust and hopefully put some 33s on the car today. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I went ahead, mocked up an exhaust from some old exhaust parts I had laying around, chucked it over to my mate Tim, and he welded up all together, all nice and schmick, and I'm ready to smash it on the car. I'm very excited. Now, it is just a straight pipe with an elbow, and it sticks up the side of the driver's side rear door. Nothing too fancy. Has done a really good job now. Here we go. Got some beautiful tips. All three are open. Got holes in there, welded it together. As you see, just a straight pipe, and that joins to the exhaust manifold. Before I go ahead, climb under the car and chuck that pipe on the vehicle, I'm actually going to pull the plugs out, give them a bit of a clean, because it's never been done. I've never changed them. They could be bloody horrendous. So I'm just going to put you guys down and get to it. That's the spark plugs all done and dusted. Every single one of them were absolutely filthy. They were horrendous. They were black, white, gap. The gap was insane. You know, on any normal car, any road car, I'd go ahead and replace them with new ones, because this is a paddock bomb and I want to do it on the cheap. I want to use basic tools. I just sanded down the gaps, make them all nice and clean, and then I re-gapped them, close the gap a little bit to hope that they get a better spark. So what I'm doing here is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just fitting the exhaust. Started bolting it together at the exhaust manifold, and then I was using a jerry can to mount the other end of the exhaust, just to make it nice and level, nice and tight with the body of the car. Rightio. That's looking pretty damn good. You may be wondering why I've asked him to position the exhaust here. Well, that's with the 33s going on. I'm going to cut a fair amount out of the guard to make sure it doesn't really scrub, get as minimal scrub as possible. So I wanted this placed a bit further forward, just to eliminate any chance of rubbing, because obviously if this exhaust tip was positioned here and I cut the guard along here, well, it's going to be a bloody issue then, isn't it? But Timo, done a bloody great job, mate. Loving it. I'm going to get to mounting it up. All I'm going to do is drill holes through the floor, use this little U-bolt exhaust clamp from up underneath, bolt it in so the floor's sitting here. Easy peasy. I'm going to have to now go through that door because obviously the exhaust is in the way. Rightio, so I had some mates pop around to provide assistance with the exhaust. This is the first time Jeremy's been on camera, so he's a little bit nervous. Look at him. We just hard mounted it through the floor like I was going to, and straight onto the manifold. You know, safe as houses, not going anywhere. Jeremy, you want to shake it? You want to shake the exhaust? Yeah, not going nowhere, so we're just going to jump start it and see how she goes.
Ready to just buck? Are you going to move her up to the That's probably a good idea, isn't it?
I'm a professional, I swear. Yeah. You good? You ready to get my day? Jeremy ran around the corner because it was a bit too bloody loud. It was louder than I thought it was going to be. Tim, you done a bloody great job, mate. It's loud. Yeah. It's loud. It's cool. It's loud. Oh well, maybe she'll have a little bit of back pressure now and spin those tyres a little bit easier. Speaking of tyres, let's get to it. Look at that. That's sick. Now that the exhaust was mounted and I was happy with how the vehicle sounded, it was time to try and fit these 33s. Now I made a mistake, I must admit, and didn't test fit the tyres before taking a grinder to the guards. After lots and lots and lots and lots of cutting, bending, hammering and whatnot, we soon realised there was an easier way to do it. Right, so we've decided instead of wasting X amount of cutting discs, cutting the guard out, we're just going to hit it with the sledgehammer and hope for the best. I mean, what's the worst that is going to happen? We're going to put a dent in the bastard. It was time to put our new plan into action. We began by cutting slits along the guard where we were going to bend, just to make the panel bend that little bit easier. Didn't have to put as much effort into hammering. After many swings of the hammer, we finally started to make the guard take shape. It was finally starting to fit the 33.
Oh no!
Sorry, Dad.
That's his favourite bloody sledgehammer.
Done for now. Anyway, wheels are on, lifts in, lock is in, exhaust is on, spaces are in, clearance. Yeah. Well, we spent maybe 4 hours just hammering it, the poor bastard, but that's it. We got rid of the ABS module, and now the brakes are just hard lined in, front brakes. Stops on a dime, which is good. Rightio. So here we are again with the Falcon. Yesterday we installed the rev limiter, the BR rev limiter. Now it's all just messy as tacked in here just very temporarily. That goes straight to the battery. I'm going to pull it all apart again, run it all nice and neat up beyond the dash to probably in front of the cluster. There is where I'm going to put it. So that's first up today, and then I want to test it. I want to drive it to see if this brake line's leak. Now I'm not too sure. This is quite thick hose, but I think they're square near the end there. Could be wrong. Very dodgy fix because we removed the ABS unit, but it's what you're going to have to do. This whole car's bloody dodgy, isn't it? So let's get started on that BR rev limiter, making it all nice and neat, and then we'll go from there, eh? Now just quickly before I go rewiring all this, if you want to actually know how to install one on a Falcon yourself, just quickly, you got a black wire that obviously needs to be earth. Your green wire that goes from your crank angle sensor. So this brown wire on this Falcon is the signal input to the PCM. This yellow wire goes to your tack signal. Now excuse my dodgy wiring, but is what it is. And this red wire, a lot of people wire it to the ignition. That's probably what I'm going to do now, but it is currently just a constant feed from the battery. Rightio, so that's all buttoned up, all nice and neat. Put the PCM back in place. I'm going to put the cover back over this so nobody kicks it, with the wiring running up there, the red and black wiring with the factory harness. She then slides up there, and then I've decided I'm going to mount the BR up there just so I can use the accessories ignition wire for the radio, because obviously it doesn't have a radio in it. This wire's going to waste. Now I've already tested it, it works, so I'm just going to button everything up and mount the BR so it's nice and secure, doesn't go flying around everywhere. And I've got the perfect thing to cover this hole here. It's going to be perfect. I'm not putting the glove box back in, that's long gone. It's going to be something even better. You have a go of that, eh? Nice and secure, some double-sided tape and zip ties, make it, she's not going anywhere, perfect for a paddock bomb. Now, have a look at that. How good. So that number plate there is just covering up all that excess wiring, all that sort of stuff, so nobody can kick it really. It's good. I'm actually quite happy with that. That was a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. anybody could give it a shot. It's just make sure you connect the right wires, because I did make the mistake of probing both wires on the crank angle sensor, the input and the output signal. That's why it wasn't working the first couple of attempts. Rewired it the correct way and now she all works fine. I can adjust the gain, so how it pops, you know, how often, how frequent. I can adjust the limiter's rev range, so if I want it to come on at 5 grand, I can set it at that. 2 grand, I can set it at that. So on and so forth. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm fucking happy with that. I'm so stoked. So a little LED there will come on when I'm hitting the limiter. Got the Bundy 4x4 covering up the wiring. That's basically back in place. But hey, she works. Oh yeah, so those little necessities are out of the way. Brakes are pretty much buttoned up, slight leak, but we'll just monitor the fluid level and we'll be good to go. Limiter's all set. We've already taken it for a couple of hot laps, if you will, and she's operating pretty good. Now we're in the process of making our own little racetrack around the property, so we're going to do a few laps now. Just give it a bit of a test. Alright, big dog just Barbie on the wheel. Get it done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 2 of the Falconstein. Just bail out here, give us a hand. So thanks a lot, mate.